Painted the world colors of love. Islam is so very beautiful.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم صلى الله وسلم على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه وسلم تسليما كثيرا وبه نستعين وما توفيقي إلا بالله عليه توكلت إليه أنيب أما بعد السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Alhamdulillah, we thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for another opportunity to take lessons from the life of great companions of Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, great personalities that live on the surface of the earth. We are discussing and learning lessons from the life of Abu Bakr as-Siddiq radiallahu anhu, who happened to be the first caliph after Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam among the four rightly guided caliphs that took over the affairs of the Ummah after Rasul left them. We've discussed earlier that the best role model for humanity Allah Ta'ala sent was Nabiuna Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, لَقَدْ كَانَ لَكُمْ فِي رَسُولِ اللَّهِ أُسْوَةٌ حَسَنَةٌ لِمَنْ كَانَ يَرْجُو اللَّهَ وَالْيَوْمَ الْآخِرَ وَذَكَرَ اللَّهَ كَثِيرًا. You have the best role model for you to copy. You have the best person for you to emulate. And that particular person is Nabiuna Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. So Nabiuna Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is a great personality. He trained some individuals that lived with him as his sincere students and companions. He trained them, and these are the people that took over after him sallallahu alaihi wasallam and spread the message of Islam across the globe. Anything we see as far as the growth and development of Islam is concerned, they have a share of reward, because Nabiuna Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, whoever initiates something good or whoever invites people to good will have a reward of inviting them to that particular good without reducing anything from the reward of the people that actually implement the good things. So Abu Bakr as-Siddiq happened to be one of the first persons that accepted Islam, not only accepting Islam, but also ensuring that he gave his maximum contribution for the spread of Islam. He gave his maximum help and assistance to this particular deen, even at a time when nobody was there other than Rasulullah. We did mention that Abu Bakr Siddiq was the most elderly person among the companions, especially at the beginning of this da'wah. Rasulullah was ahead of him by 2 years and some few months. So all other companions they were younger companions that came in, and then Islam sort of benefited from their contribution. Abu Bakr as-Siddiq, we did mention, after he accepted Islam, he never sat down to practice Islam alone, but rather he engaged himself in da'wah. He engaged himself in inviting people to the path of Islam. And we could see that with this, you can hardly mention any companion at that earlier time that invited people to Islam, that at the end, they became highly influential personalities that Islam and the Muslims benefited. We talk about Uthman bin Affan, we talk about Zubair bin Awam, we talk about Talha bin Ubaidillah, we talk about Sa'ad bin Abi Waqas, we talk about Abdurrahman bin Auf. All these people are great companions, people that became highly influential. If we take Uthman bin Affan, we'll come to his history also, the story around him, but he was known to be a wealthy person. He was known to be someone who is highly concerned whenever he sees people in problem. He helped them out of the problem. So anything he did within Islam, he became a Muslim and did that. Abu Bakr as-Siddiq radiallahu anhu will have a share of guiding him to come and accept this Islam. Apart from Uthman bin Affan, we have Talha bin Ubaidillah, we have Zubair bin Awam. Zubair bin Awam happens to be someone that is even related to Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But the person who invited him to Islam was Abu Bakr as-Siddiq. He happens to be like a cousin to Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Why? Because his mother Safiya bint Abdul Muttalib, Safiya is a sister to the father of Rasul Abdullah. So Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam is related to him. And who invited him to Islam? It was Abu Bakr as-Siddiq radiallahu anhu. We also have Abdurrahman bin Auf, a successful businessman, someone who helped this deen with all the resources at his disposal, someone who is always there and caring for the life of others. Remember, we'll come to this particular story after Umar bin Khattab was assassinated. He was among those people that Umar bin Khattab highly trusted. Not only him alone, but all the companions, because in making of the shura that will determine who will be the next Khalifa, Abdurrahman bin Auf was also involved. Another person, Sa'ad bin Abi Waqqas. Sa'ad bin Abi Waqqas was invited to Islam through Abu Bakr as-Siddiq. And one good thing or important thing about Sa'ad bin Abi Waqqas, he was the youngest among them. In fact, it was said that at that particular time when Abu Bakr as-Siddiq invited him to Islam, he was 17 years old. 17 years old. He accepted Islam. We've talked about the parents of the others that helped them to practice their Islam. For example, Safiya, she was who is the sister to the father of Rasulullah bint Abdul Muttalib. She highly encouraged her son to practice Islam. She encouraged him. In fact, she never did anything to disturb him or to make him feel bad. But on the contrary, Sa'ad bin Abi Waqqas, his mother made life so difficult for him. In fact, at a point in time, she threatened that if he did not abandon this Islam, she's going to terminate her life. So he passed through difficulties. He loved his mother, he liked his mother, very close to his mother, but because of his acceptance of Islam, he passed through different kind of challenges, similar to what Mus'ab bin Umayr also passed through. So what we are saying here is that he accepted Islam at a very young age, 17 years, and he accepted Islam through who? Through Abu Bakr as-Siddiq radiallahu anhu. He lived as a Muslim throughout the life of Rasul. He lived as a Muslim throughout the caliphate of Abu Bakr as-Siddiq, the same thing, caliphate of, so he lived a very long period of time servicing and sort of advancing the cause of Islam. Among those that also came and benefited from Islam through Abu Bakr as-Siddiq, we mentioned the slaves that were freed. Bilal bin Abi Rabah, in his future career and life, he became one of the most influential person as far as the voice of Islam is concerned. If you want to talk about voice of Islam, you will listen to the adhan, the call of salat. The call of salat was entirely a duty and responsibility of Bilal, who happened to be freed slave by Abu Bakr as-Siddiq radiallahu anhu. Also among his children, we have mentioned Asma'u. We also mentioned Aisha. There is no way someone can talk about contribution of women to Islam without mentioning Aisha radiallahu anha. Aisha happened to be the daughter of Abu Bakr as-Siddiq, who later on became a wife to Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam and became among the Ummahatul Mu'minin. So what we are saying is that indeed Abu Bakr as-Siddiq is a highly influential person. Indeed, Abu Bakr as-Siddiq influenced others. And that is why all of these companions, whenever Abu Bakr as-Siddiq presents Islam to them, they accept because they know the kind of person he is. Another important incident that will show us the kind of personality Abu Bakr as-Siddiq was and his influence in the community and society is the incident that happened when Makkah became so tense. Makkah became so tense. Things were so difficult for the Muslims. We all recall how some of them were being tortured, how some of them, their properties have been confiscated. Life, Abu Bakr as-Siddiq was not also an exception. Things were made so difficult for him. Anywhere you go, things have become so hard, so difficult. So at the end, he now consulted with Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam and mentioned that he wants to just migrate and leave Makkah. He's tired of the situation of Makkah. He wants to leave Makkah and go out somewhere to go and worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the Muslims, because of difficulties, they migrated. They left Makkah to travel out as far as Abyssinia, the present day Ethiopia, for them to go and have a place that they can worship and serve Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Abu Bakr as-Siddiq now, after consulting Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he now made up his mind that he is also going to migrate. He's going to leave Makkah. So from there, Rasul gave him permission. Now he decided to leave Makkah. On his way as he was going, he met someone called Ibn al-Ghunna. This particular person was an influential person. Ibn Dughunna was a chief among his own people. That is the tribe of Harith bin Abdul Manaf. So Ibn Dughunna saw him on the way. He said, Abu Bakr, where are you going? Abu Bakr said, no, I just want to leave this particular environment and go out to just go and serve my Lord, to go and become my own Muslim, because this particular community and people have made life so terrible and so difficult to us. Even the owner made a statement, and this statement will tell us the kind of personality Abu Bakr as-Siddiq was. Ibn Dughunna said, "Inna mithlaka la yakhruj wa la yukhraj. Inna mithlaka la yakhruj wa la yukhraj." Ibn Dughunna said, "Oh, Abu Bakr as-Siddiq, people like you are not people that will be sent out of town, and they are not people that they should leave a town. They are the kind of people you are. I mean, the kind of person you are not such person that the community should miss. You are not the kind of person that should leave a city or a city should expel you." Why is he saying this? There are certain people, because of their influence, because of their contribution to the society, because of their value to the society, if they are not living within that society, the society will seriously lose very important something or thing that will be of benefit to the continuous existence of that particular society. So he now said, Abu Bakr, you are the kind of person that no society will wish to live. Why? He mentioned certain things. He said, إِنَّكَ تَقْسِبُ الْمَعْدُومِ وَتَسِلُّ الرَّحِمِ وَتَحْمِلُ الْقَلْبِ وَتَقْرُ الضَّيْفِ وَتَعِينُ عَلَى نَوَائِبِ الْحَقِّ. He said, Abu Bakr, because you have some 5 qualities. 5 qualities. And these 5 qualities and attributes are qualities and attributes that is beneficial at all time to communities, to societies, to nation, to people. One is that you are someone that is known, taxibul ma'lum. If there is anybody that happened to be lacking in anything that will sustain his life, someone who doesn't have, you are the kind of person that empowers such persons. And you are the kind of person that watasillu rahim, you join the tie of kinship. You don't allow tie of kinship and rahim to suffer. You join the tie of kinship. You know those that are related to you. You know how to help them. You care for them. You link up with them. You don't break the tie of kinship. You are a person that is known to have this. And then watahmilul kalb, you are a person that takes the responsibility of someone who lack any support. You take that responsibility as if it is your own. You assist someone, you care for someone. Wataqrid daif, you are someone who also give a kind of accommodation to someone who come to a particular town or city as knowing nobody, a stranger. You give a stranger a place to stay, you take care of people that come without anybody to help them, and then also وَتَعِينُ عَلَى نَوَائِبِ الْحَقِّ. Whoever have a very terrible calamity that befalls on him or is facing a particular problem, you are always there to remove him out of the problem. These 5 qualities, you have them. Nobody will allow people like you to leave a town. What are the lessons we learn from here? A society, a community, a nation, a people need someone who contributes to the community and society. Moreover, Rasul is saying one of his hadith, Khairun nas man yanfa'un nas. The best of mankind is that particular person who benefits mankind. Rasul is saying another place, he says that there are people that are mafatihul lil khair, people that open good. They are the source of good to a community. This kind of people should never leave town. So this person convinced Abu Bakr that he must not leave. Abu Bakr as-Siddiq said, well, how will he say that? He said, no, I will stand as someone that will stand on your behalf. Because the Arabs have one particular person. If someone said, I am going to be Ana Jarul Lak, I'm going to be someone who will stand, you will stand under me, I stand before you. People can now trust that particular person as your shoti. So he said, I'm going to stand like that. Nobody will ever come closer to you. And that is what now made Abu Bakr as-Siddiq to be convinced. He said, okay, I am now back. Let's go back. Now, but with the condition, after he went to Makkah, the people of Makkah, he said, look, Abu Bakr as-Siddiq is under, I am going to stand as a shorty, no matter what happened. They respected that. Because even in Jahiliyyah period, they respect a kind of people to stand as shorty for others, as guarantors. Anything that that particular person did, then it is the person that stands on his behalf that will be called to account for that particular deed. So now, but with a condition. And what is the condition? They put a condition that Abu Bakr as-Siddiq must never pray in the public. Abu Bakr as-Siddiq must never do anything that will make people to now be attracted to Islam through his own activities. And that is the condition. So Abu Bakr as-Siddiq will be observing his own prayer and salat within the confine of his own compound, within his environment. That is the condition. Well, since Abu Bakr as-Siddiq have accepted coming back to Mecca, this particular condition, he accepted. But he is the kind of person that whenever he is praying and reciting the glorious Quran with his melodious voice, he will invite the attention of others. Allah bless him with that. We'll come to see, even before Rasulullah departed and left this dunya, when he asked Abu Bakr to go and leave Salah, one of the things that Aisha anha mentioned about him is that if he is reciting Quran, he will draw the attention of others because of his humility in the recitation that will seem led him to sometimes be shedding tears. So anytime Abu Bakr is praying, people will now come and be watching him, and people will be listening to what he's doing. That now become a disturbing issue to the Quraysh. So they now call and said, look, you said you are standing on behalf of this particular person, but this is what he's doing. He's influencing our own people. You know, a Muslim is someone that his attitudes, his behaviors are always motivating to others. We recall how Rasul's attitude and behaviors in Mecca within the Kaaba influenced a whole village chief to become a Muslim. Who was that particular person? The person that came to Mecca, and then at the end, people even scared him that he shouldn't even come closer to the Prophet because he will be influenced. This particular person came, in fact, he said, I even put cotton in my ears so that I will not listen to what Rasulullah will be saying. After he entered Mecca, what did happen? Through seeing the way and manner Rasul was praying, the way and manner Rasul was sort of behaving in Mecca, this motivated him and he accepted Islam. So this Abu Bakr as-Siddiq radiallahu anhu became a kind of center of attraction to those people whenever he's observing his prayer. So they said they would never accept this. So this person that stood on behalf, to protect Abu Bakr as-Siddiq, now came back to Abu Bakr and said, oh Abu Bakr, this is what the people have complained of about you, and this cannot happen. So you either stop this your own prayer the way you are praying, or I will off my hand in this particular situation. This is the statement of Ibn Dughunna, who now said that he's going to stand on behalf of Abu Bakr. What did Abu Bakr say? He said, Inni arfadu jiwarak wa aktafi bihimayatillah. He said, if that is what you are going to say, I have handed over. I am free. I'm not even after your own protection. I would rather rely on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So go ahead and leave me on my own. Because I cannot be separated from the prayer. I cannot be separated from my ibadah. I cannot be separated or denied what I'm doing. So you can go ahead and leave me. Whatever will happen, let it happen. That is how Abu Bakr as-Siddiq was left alone to continue to live in Makkah. And he lived his life. So all the sufferings, all the torture, all the difficulties, Abu Bakr as-Siddiq withstood that. And then he continued based on what he said, that I am going to put my trust on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is a very important thing. It shows us the kind of person Abu Bakr as-Siddiq was, someone who can trust and put his trust on Allah, someone who will not allow anything to stand as a barrier between him and worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Another incident that also involved Abu Bakr as-Siddiq that we can learn very good lessons in this is when Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam was confronted by the enemies in attempt to a sort of cause harm to him. They were attacking him sallallahu alaihi wasallam in Makkah. around the Kaaba. Abu Bakr saw what is happening. And what was happening? It was Utbah bin Rabi'ah. You know, Utbah happened to be one of the enemies of Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Utbah as well as Shayba. They are all children of Rabi'ah. And then Abu Jahl. These people came and confronted Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. In fact, they mobilized mobs attacking the Prophet. Abu Bakr as-Siddiq rushed to that particular scene, and then he was saying, "Ataqtuluna rajulan an yaqula Rabbi Allah." Are you going to kill someone just because he said Allah is his Lord? Are you going to do that? So Abu Bakr came in solidarity, shouting. Before realizing, they started beating Abu Bakr as-Siddiq. They injured him. They caused harm to him. It was said that he even fainted. He was taken out of that particular scene. After he was taken away from that particular scene, the very time that he came back to his consciousness, the first thing he asked was, what was the state of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam? How is Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam? To show the deep attachment he has to Nabiuna Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, to show his real concern about the life of Nabiuna Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This was Abu Bakr as-Siddiq. This is the kind of person he is, that he has so many things for us to learn and then implement in our life. Some of these few things, in summary, include his own diligence, his own sacrifice, his own focus, his own determination, and all these kind of things. And then especially, we need to remember those particular testimonies that others testified regarding his own qualities and attributes. What is that quality and attribute? He cared for others. He showed care for others. He contributed to his community, to his society. And definitely, by those particular activities, if he is away from that society, the society will feel his absence. And that is why he was convinced to come back to Mecca. The question you will ask yourself, or the question we'll ask ourselves, are we such kind of people that the society will feel our absence if for one reason or the other, either we are no more in the society, or we even die and leave the society itself? Will our presence and our absence, will the difference be there? And people will feel that, no, there's a kind of contribution, so kind of person is giving, that this contribution is no more there. And Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam is saying the best of mankind are those who benefit mankind. Khairun nas man yanfa'un nas. I pray Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless me and you, and bless all of us, and reward the companions of Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam wa ridwanullah alayhim ajma'in, and also elevate their status in Al-Jannatul Firdaus. With this I say, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi